Oh, my live. Your live. I'm live. Hi, I'm Elliot. I'm also bored. Every day, I think of something to say, but I don't have anybody to say them to. And I think that would be a really great YouTube video to make. But then I run into the same issue. Like, who am I talking to? It's a weird thing, though, the truth. You can utter to an empty room, and the empty room hears you. And then someone in another empty room, they hear a whisper that sounds like their own thinking, but it's really the empty room telling them what they heard from someone else. So I'm going to speak a little bit about something that, I don't know, is taboo and no less true for its being something you shouldn't say. How dare you? I have a penis. It's true. 2 testicles as well. They used to be ovaries, but a really, really, really long time ago. And if you have a clitoris, you got really lucky and it didn't morph or mutate into a penis. And I live in our society. Soci. And I'll have you know that I do not feel dominant. Not in our society. And I never really have. I've also never felt dominated by other males. Ever. And I don't mean that in some kind of like fucking male clashing of horns. Rrr, rrr, rrr. No, I just mean like basically my whole life has been subject to the whims and choices of women. Matter of fact. I've worked predominantly in the service industries because that's what you call the industry that finds people inclined to just, I don't know, do things for other people, which is all of them. But you gotta segregate that shit and call it other things. Otherwise, people walk around thinking that they help each other. Anyways, I don't want this to be too long, which means it probably will be. But it has been such a jab my whole fucking life. Or maybe more punch in the face or better yet, a kick to the balls, which really fucking hurts. Not always, but if you fucking hit a nut straight on, oof. Lordy, lordy. I wonder why, like, because it's like, I don't know, it's hard to really fuck a nut up. But gosh, are they sensitive. Oh, well, I guess everything's electromagnetic. Anyways, I digress. My whole life, I've basically had to defend some domination or some hierarchy that I've never had. And it being, 2019, and I was born 85. So I've lived perfectly in that time where not only in my own experience is there no like psychological difference between a man and a woman as far as like who should be in charge or who should have more power or who should have more say one way or another. None of that. Like I didn't grow up with any of that, and I grew up in Canada, so you know us. We apologize for everything and say please after thank you. And as far as I know, and I know a lot because I test shit, all this back and forth is really just a story. It's bullshit and ignorance. So I'm just going to throw out some opportunities for different thinking so that hopefully in some empty room, someone will think, maybe like the balance doesn't have to do with the sexes. It just has to do with how we treat each other. No matter what you got rocking between your legs. Like, for instance, right now, oh my God, his shirt's open. I'm a subscriber to the Peace Dealer. And he's awesome. What's like, honestly, like, his channel is he deals peace. Tarot, astrology. He's actually phenomenal at these things. Philosophy, communication, oration. Those are just things. He's just like wicked. It's really good for the world. And why I bring him up, I can't remember anymore. This is my struggle when I don't talk to anyone. It's the way that I'm wired. Like, I don't really talk to people. I mostly listen and then respond by listening. So when I reach out, not even as a tangent, but as like a tidbit, all it takes is really one other person, whoever, to like grab that while they're watching, ask a question that I don't hear, but I kind of hear, and then I'm like, it's like, well, what the fuck was I saying? It annoys me. But anyways, I remember he gives like these really great profiles of understanding for different astrological signs, and I'm a Sagittarius rising. I'm very Sagittarius rising, and he's like, he's always fucking tooting Sagittarius' horn. It's like Sagittarius. If you're Sagittarius, man, you're fucking walking around. Like, you basically always have as little clothes on as possible. Just fucking strutting your shit, like man or woman. And I chuckle because I'm like, you're fucking right, bro. And like, how I look is really happenstance to how I feel. And I mostly just want to be naked all the fucking time. But my point, at least with this, is there's no fucking point. But it's like, oh, but you get to rock out your nipples. Yeah, but you know what? As a woman, your nipples have power. You get to not. You get to withhold them, and then make men and women alike desire them, and then pick and choose who gets to see your nipples. Huh. Maybe you never thought of it that way. But we have to wear bras. You don't have to do shit. But continuing, like, you have another adornment. At best, I get to wear a shirt under a shirt over a shirt, and you have that opportunity too. Men typically get paid more than women for the same amount of work. So I haven't actually experienced this in my life, but I know that it happens. Just as like food for thought, how common is it to be a house husband? Now, being a housewife has conveniently been turned on its head, right? Because it used to be a lovely thing. So anything that used to be lovely can be made derogatory after a amount of time, just to fuck with people's psychology and confuse and confound. But you ask me, all right, one way of looking at that is like, so basically, men get men can be typically paid more than women for the same amount of work, but there's a whole lot more women that don't have to work. I mean, yes, housewife is a work. You do the blah blah blah, and then the blah 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 too, and then the blah blah blah. But then, the work is the work, and it's the blah 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 blah. See how there's no fucking argument? And I really mean for or against. Right? And then just a little like lowly man slave perspective. Okay, my aunt. I have an aunt who's around 50. Said something interesting to me one day. She's like, "There's no reason that like an older man needs to be alone, because like there's so many like lonely women that it doesn't really matter what they look like or anything like that. It's they really have their pick." And I thought that was interesting. I don't know how true it is, but especially if they're successful, then you could even have a younger woman, because that's in some fucked up way preferable. I've never been attracted to younger women. It's like, why would the fuck would I be attracted to a member, like a partner that is closer to a girl than she is to me? Like, yeah, you've been you were in puberty more recently, like much more than I. Like, fuck. I would not wish that upon anyone, let alone have to now like deal with that. It's like, grow up. Never mind. And this is really crazy out there. But like everyone gets more attractive as they get older. Unless they don't smile and laugh and try with anything. You don't do those things, everyone gets ugly. And then seeing yourself as beautiful makes all the difference too. But anyways, uh, growing up as a young man, as a boy, a teenager, and shit like that. Never mind all of the like bullshit, like social norms and things that I should want as a boy, i.e., a girlfriend, i.e., um, to be a teenager that's like I don't know fornicating. When really, um, it's like a side note, like the like abuse that was placed upon me at that age was uh, I've only ever wanted like just a connection. I remember like thinking all the things that were wrong with me because I didn't want to go to clubs and bars and things like that. I mean, I did, but not as often as my contemporaries. And I dance like a motherfucker, and I love to, but you don't go to clubs to dance. You go to clubs to try and get girls, and I sucked at that. Like, what do you talk about? I don't know you. And when I'm dancing or you're dancing, like I'm supposed to like, slide up on you and then rub my crotch on you. Like I'm that guy that's like at the club being like, I just want to fucking dance. And had the opportunity to be eye candy, uh, or sorry, eye fucked by women and girls both while I'm dancing. And then I don't know, like they fucking try and blow their fucking pheromones at me. Like it's like, oh, why don't you just come grind up on my ass? It's like that's not dancing, and it can be, but only really kind of between friends, you know, because there's intimacy there. It's like, oh, friends grind. What the fuck is grinding? Anyways, uh, but as a teenager, as a boy, like you basically just like hope you get picked by a girl. And really, I don't know if that's changed all that much. I don't know because I don't know. That's just not how it works for me. I don't think that's just how it works at all. I've never liked pretty girls. Pretty girls. That was really pretty. The prettiest, the prettiest, because uh, all of my partners have been the most beautiful. But that like traditional hair and makeup and fashion sense, she was the one that like again, she's beautiful, and I can't even take that away from her. But it was like that prettiness took away from that. is it a male dominated society or a female dominated society when everything a male does, like a dominant male does, is really for the acceptance, acquirement, appreciation, value of a woman. Now, I'm, to be fair, intentionally saying things a little obtusely. Like I'm intentionally being a little like, oh my god, you're being so anti-feminist, or is it feminist? I don't know. It's also fucking fake. But like at the top of the fucking social hierarchy sphere is are just two narcissistic fucking people, like a man and a woman. Look at all the fucking women with that like fuck up their faces, and it's like, oh, they do it for their bodies. Like at 21, 21, like I can fucking I don't care what anybody says, because they say it of their opinion. I have fucking asked, checked, and discovered that women don't do shit for men. It's like, oh, they just want to be pretty, or they just want to get jobs. Like, women do everything that they do that's fucked up for other women and for what they think other women will like judge them for. Like, I'm a man and I love healthy fucking women. Does that mean you have to exercise all the time? No. Does it mean you have to eat a certain way? No. Just, those both those things are just kind of implicit in caring, you know? But if I have a choice, I prefer my women to not look like boys. I mean, like prepubescent boys, right? Like little thighs, no bum, square hips. And then on the flip side, like there ain't no there ain't no breasts that I don't like. Big, little. There's like that's a fake thing too, because in my experience, the breasts that a woman has whatever is usually perfect for the rest of her body. And no amount of and like it doesn't matter what a guy says to a girl, because or it seems that way in my experience, because she wants to hear it from another woman. Like like no guy cares about that shit that you're really caring about. Like, you're fucking hot, and like I want to kiss you any time of the day, any hour. And then there's all the men that have basically been conditioned to basically go against their instincts, just like the women that have been conditioned to go against their instincts, to be like, oh no, but I really like this, or I really like that. But when they're there, they don't really fucking like it. And if they think they do, it's because they don't really know what it's like to like something and to like really be like free. And that, in fact, actually they do. And then they go, or to find it or whatever, they go gay. And that's true for men or women. Since I'm already talking about something taboo, it's in my opinion that, oh, and this is super racy, but fuck it, I can say it anyways. Homosexuality in general is a combination of labeling or identifying with um, like sensual inclinations, right? So it's like, oh, like I really like this boy, I really like this girl. There's something about them that's like kind of charming, and I like being around them, and I don't know, like maybe I want to kiss them. Maybe I think that would be nice. Well, that must mean that I like men. That must mean that I like women. And then you kind of like reach out into your world and kind of for further verification because you've got this one instance. And then there's the other thing because like you're afraid of uh be like you're afraid of the opposite sex or you're afraid of uh not being enough of the sex that you are, which comes back down to this like male dominated, female dominated society, which is just a fucking lie. At the very top, there are women that, at the very top and all the way down, just like them, and there are women and men that benefit from the abusive paradigm, and uh, and mostly people that suffer. And I dare say that it's even more of a female dominated society when men aren't allowed. Like part of our conditioning is to shut the fuck up or we're going to throw you in prison. Or shut the fuck up or no one's going to have sex with you. It's just like, what does it take for us to get past the fact that it's not a sex thing, it's a people thing? Like, all right, fine, concession. We live in a male dominated society. What's the solution? Right? Like, it's the rise of the divine feminine. What does that look like? Because what that sounds like to me as a penis bearing human being, is uh, like, okay, great. Now what? Like, what else am I doing wrong? What else am I going to be blamed for, or what liberty that I don't have is yet going to be taken from me? My penis has not given me any benefits. I'm a yoga teacher. It's like, oh, uh, yoga, yeah, like all the yoga teachers are men, and yeah, I don't know. Maybe at some point that I don't know, I've I'm I all I teach is women mostly, and all the other teachers are women mostly. All the studio owners are women mostly. Like all the managers, like the desk staff, it's all mostly women. When I worked in at like Starbucks, same. When I flew as a flight attendant for a little while, same. When I worked at offices, when I worked at, you know what, and it's, you know what, when I worked in landscaping, it was manly, but then I was too feminine. Uh, Not physically, and not my work ethic, uh, or my work output. I've never done a job, worked a job where I didn't fucking kick ass and take names. It was the lack of my, I don't know, calloused exterior. Maybe I smile too much. Or in some fucked up way, I was too pretty. It's awesome to be a boy and not be pretty enough and then be too pretty. All the while being like, I don't know what any of that fucking means because it doesn't bring me any closer to other human beings. Anyways, that's my point. We just need to get the fuck over ourselves and stop using like any aspect of division as a point of liberation. It doesn't work. Rise of the divine feminine. Fuck you. Because I look around, there's no divine masculine like pioneer. It's not like, oh, it's like I've had my turn. It's time to pass the torch. No, I've been like I've beaten, shelved, caged, stripped, ignored, cast aside. And then that same kind of cliched stereotype male and female, that like service to self conditioning has won me out. And most of the men that I know, I'd say almost all, except for like a few that had the benefit of, had the benefit actually of having a feminine power in their lives. Like a mother that was like, that took advantage of feminine, of the feminine dominance, and a male. So usually go hand in hand. Anyways, it's just all bullshit. You think that as a man, we all don't inherently want to be at home with our kids, working with them, teaching them, laughing with them, respecting them, respecting our partner, our lover before them, and having them understand love not as a concept, or life and respect and confidence as something that you read about in books, but as witness to its successes and its like and its challenges. That's it. We belong to each other, whether you have a penis or a vagina. And I love you the most, no matter what, too.